hello, and welcome to the Kryptonaut Podcast. I'm Mark Storrs, and with me, as always, is
Chris.
And
I just thought of it.
a little pre-show banter.
Little predatory nature.
Predatory nature of a certain shark. And you are.
It would be Rob Morphy.
And today's a very special day, folks, listeners, good people at home. Today is Robert's birthday.
Absolutely.
Let's give it for Robert.
463 and counting.
9,720 years young.
Oh, when the aliens and I built the pyramids together, what a day that was.
So just to date this, because this obviously isn't going to be out on the day of your birth. So what is today? Today is July
14th.
July 14th. Okay.
Yes,
so July
Bastille
14th.
Day.
Bastille Day. Robert was born. Robert, how old are you?
I am 46 years old.
God damn it, you handsome
seasoned
68-year-old
veteran.
bastard.
I know.
God damn it.
Just so close to retirement. I can finally hang up my monster boots and just relax and watch Murder, She Wrote.
You technically,
It'll be awesome.
in cryptozoology, you've only got 4 more years to retirement. So, yeah.
No, I didn't know the protocols until I was sent the contracts. But yes,
well, then you
excited.
become a talking head on all the shows.
I'm looking forward to that phase of my career.
Oh, you become the voice in the nether.
Yeah.
The voice in the nether.
That just speaks.
All the stages of crypto retirement.
You can do the narrating, and then you can just kind of pop up, and you can just kind of be there.
Sexy,
like,
hot,
yes.
awesome. Thanks for the birthday wishes.
You're almost doing voiceovers on power metal albums.
Oh, that'll be great.
There you go.
That is
you
the
could be
phase
in the
of my
next
life
Blind
I really
Guardian
look
record.
forward to.
There it is. So be sure to follow us on the social medias, Twitters, Facebooks, and Instagrams. Please be sure to leave ratings and reviews for this podcast. We enjoy it greatly. I know we normally say like it helps with the ratings. It's a lie. We like to hear people say nice things about us because that's what people do.
It literally gets us through the week.
It literally does.
Yeah, we have no reason to go on unless you send us
pretty
stuff.
much. Yeah, no, we're just a blubbering mess.
Is this a cry for help?
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, the entire last 2 weeks for me has been a cry for help. So yeah, no, I think this is going to be our final cry for help. It actually does help.
It really does.
In iTunes, it helps boost the ratings of the show and everything. It's cool. And we have a ton of reviews. A couple episodes ago, I'm like, hey guys, let's hit 100 before the end of summer, and we already hit 100. So
sweet,
cool.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, so it's I'm pretty stoked on that. So here are some reviews. We'll get it kicked off here with Sav Kramer 300, easily my favorite 5-star review. I recently discovered you guys and binge listened to all your episodes within a few boring work days. I love that you guys are willing to look at even the most ridiculous of explanations, and that you really listen to the eyewitnesses and take every case seriously. Keep up the great work. Thank you very much, Savannah. That was a very excellent,
Hell yeah,
excellent review.
Totally.
Moving on. Awesome. 5 stars from E. Matzinger. Been listening for a few months now, and this is one of my favorite podcasts. I get stoked every week when I get a new episode notification. I love the lesser-known topics that you... And can tell you guys are good friends, and I totally feel like you are friends of mine or people I'd hang out with. Keep up the good work. Well, yeah, we totally. I mean,
fucking
if you're
right.
in the area, man, give us a call, hang out. We'll go fucking drink and hook it up. So, amazing 5-star review from Bubba 736. Bubba 736. I've been listening to y'all from day one. I've been into the paranormal and cryptids growing up, and the things you guys talk about I've never heard of. And I like learning about the unknown cryptids. And I love the chemistry between you guys. It's like a couple of buddies getting together and having a good time. And it's also informational. At the same time, please keep up the good work.
Thank you, Bob.
Yeah, so we're informational. We're friends.
It's spot on. We are buddies. We're talking shit about stuff we love, and we're glad to share it.
Are we still friends?
I don't know.
We're like brothers.
Let's ask our producer about our history. I mean, wait.
When we were formed as a boy band of cryptozoology.
Wait a minute.
Oh, we're the first cryptozoology boy band?
Yeah, in 2007.
There's only one cryptozoologist among us, though. It's you. And the rest of us just make shit up.
No.
We are all experts in our own way.
We all live under the wings of Robert.
That's not true.
He just opens his wings.
I disagree.
No, well, he's the leader. He's the goose that never leaves the V.
Oh, he's the goose and with the dander? Is that what it is?
Wow.
That never leaves the V.
Yeah.
He's the eternal V goose.
You're our V goose?
I can live with that.
Oh,
Whatever that means.
Can I be
super sweet.
Can I be Iceman?
Of course you can.
All right, cool. Who are you going to be?
You can be my wingman anytime.
I don't know.
Are you our Louis Gossett Jr.?
I'm Chappie.
Now you're confusing. You go with Top Gun. You cannot cross those streets.
It doesn't matter.
Oh,
Planes
shit,
are planes.
I did.
I'm Chappie.
I did.
Fuck all y'all.
Chappie rules. Okay.
Chappie does rule.
I was going to do a Lugase. I don't even think I could do it, so I'm not going to.
Yeah,
Let's move on.
one-
That's
no
a
one
hard,
can do it.
hard
I thought
voice
about
to
it.
imitate.
I was going to do it, but I can't.
Continuing on, in my starting 5 for podcasts, so I'm guessing top 5.
I'd like
Okay.
to think so.
Yeah.
P Fool 3. 5-star review. I used to read Rob's articles on American monsters way back and have always loved his illustrations as an illustrator myself. I have been reading Cryptopia's content as well, so when I found this podcast, I was hooked. If you've never read the American Monsters / Cryptopia articles the show usually references, this will hook you right away. But even if you have read the articles as I have, the podcast still offers more content in the form of discussion and further detail. Keep it up, guys. Patrick.
Thank you, Patrick.
Thank you,
That's
Patrick.
an informative review, actually.
Yeah, oh,
Yeah, that was awesome, and it's so
Totally, yeah.
true.
That
For
was
other
good.
people.
We did have piles and piles, hundreds of articles that we wrote for American Monsters over the years.
Yeah, totally.
And that, have transferred over to Cryptopia with all the new stuff. But he's absolutely right. We use that as the bare bones foundation and then hang our ideas on it. So that's awesome. Thank you so much, Patrick.
And that is cryptopia.us. You can go check that site out. There's a ton of super cool articles. And obviously, we reference all the articles in the shows that we do. So, moving on here. Next big thing from Groovy A214, 5-star review. I'm so glad I stumbled across you guys while looking for new podcasts to listen to. You're the perfect blend of everything I want in a podcast as a paranormal and comedy listener. Oh, I will definitely suggest you guys to everyone I know. Wish you guys the best. Love, Lunchbox.
Thanks, Box.
Yeah, thanks,
Indeed.
Lunchbox. Sweet. Cool. With that. Okay, cool. And to round it off here, we have It's the Unknown That Draws People.
It's true.
5-star review from Michael Allen Fitzgerald. On Saturday, April 28th, the videographer Michael Fitzgerald had an encounter that would haunt him for the rest of his days. While traversing the darkened lobby of the Palace Theater in Syracuse, New York, he chanced upon 3 mysterious figures discussing the possibilities of the existence of entities believed by many only to be myth. Little did Michael know at the time that he was to witness a rare public sighting of the hosts of the Kryptonaut podcast. While he claims never to have partaken in any recreational activities at Bull Hill, Michael has yet to be tested for diabetes. So at best can be described only as an unreliable narrator. After the experience, he has been reported to have subscribed to the Kryptonaut podcast and rumored to have listened to all the episodes over the last 75 days. Michael has been questioned numerous times, but still refuses to renounce his claim that he greatly enjoys the podcast. Thank you very much, Michael. We met Michael at the Palace Theater,
Absolutely.
actually.
At our one public
The only con that we've done,
showing.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, actually, check out his work. It's fiendishfilms.storeenvy.com. He's from in the area here, and he's a local videographer. And he's got a bunch of cool stuff.
And documentarian.
And he does documentaries and everything, too. Yeah, so you actually, I think one of the last ones was like Slaughtered in Syracuse, I think. I'm pretty sure.
I think so.
I'm pretty sure it was, yeah. But that is fiendishfilms.storeenvy.com, and that does it for my reviews from the iTunes. Thank you all. Please keep the reviews coming. We hit 100. Let's see by the end of the summer we can get 150.
Wow.
What do you think, guys?
I think that's great.
You want to get nuts?
Lofty goals.
Come on. Let's get nuts.
That's my Michael Keaton.
That's the best Michael Keaton. All right. Rob's got a couple more reviews here, and then we're going to get started proper.
Yes, we're just
shit.
hammering them all in.
We're getting them all in one shot.
These
so.
are from our Facebook
Yes,
page.
you can find us facebook.com/, you know what? Just search for the Kryptonaut Podcast. I don't
that'd
remember
probably
our
be easier.
address. Yeah, I don't remember.
Absolutely. The first is a 5-star review from Caleb Armstrong, who says, "Fantastic podcast that feels like you're sitting on the porch with the host, having a beer and scaring off the neighbors. Casual but informative," which is how I like my underwear. "And a must-listen for fans of all things Fortean and fun." Thank you, Caleb.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And you have infographics on your underwear to make them informative?
Absolutely.
Oh, I've got
Awesome. I
stats
like
all
it.
over my boxers.
Do you
It's
really?
true.
Up to date.
Are you a boxer? Are you a boxer or a boxer brief?
Mostly boxer brief.
Okay.
These
Rob,
days,
boxer,
actually.
boxer brief.
Oh, Commando. I just memorized
Do
it
you
on
really?
my Invisibles.
You are the commando?
Oh, hell yeah.
You're like our own Arnold Schwarzenegger
They need to dangle
saving your
and
daughter?
breathe.
I love it. God bless.
And Commando was a great film.
It
for the
was.
record.
Happy birthday, Robert. Please continue.
Thank you. Chase Maudlin, another 5-star review, and I'm
Excellent.
delighted about this. "I just recently got into podcasts and have been searching hundreds to find one that actually entertains me, and this is by far my favorite. I love crypto, and these guys' spin and humor had me a lifelong fan. Great job, guys. I'll be listening. Thank you, Chase.
Well, thank you very much, and welcome
Word.
to the podcast. There, you are lucky if you're just getting into podcast. There is so much good stuff out there.
Carson Snar.
Carson Snar, what's up?
That's just
He has a cool like Venom icon, right?
He
like
does,
his avatar.
totally.
Yeah.
It's wicked.
yeah. We had a discussion about your name. We were going to depth about what you do, but you might smuggle bats.
Yes.
We don't know.
yeah.
And by the way, that's one of the finest compliments we can pay.
Yeah, exactly.
It seriously is a pretty gnarly name, Carson Snar. You're like, that dude is in a band.
It's Stan Lee made it up completely.
Totally.
Another 5-star review. I just started listening to you guys this week. I've already learned about some cryptids I've never heard of, and your episodes always hold my attention. Also, you guys are hilarious. Keep up the good work. I love this stuff.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Carson.
Thank you, Carson.
And we will do
you
our
don't
damnedest.
sound like a smuggler, but I just can't. You have to be.
Carson Snar, the bat
You're either
smuggler?
in school,
I like
you're
it.
still learning to be one.
Smuggler.
I feel like you would just be just on that name
Totally.
alone. You'd get the diploma.
This week, this is awesome. This is one of my faves. This is like one of my top 6, top 7,
That's interesting.
top
So
8 maybe.
when someone says top 7, they always mean this is my 7th favorite.
Yeah,
because
maybe-
no one says this isn't my top 7, but they're
no,
really
you
it's
know
number
what? I'm
4.
gonna make a
Yeah.
gonna make a dedication right here. This is easily my top 8.
Oh my God!
Easily.
There was one more.
This is my
You
top
were not
8.
fooling anyone. with
All right,
that.
so this week we were talking about the Thetis Lake monster from Canada. Our brothers and sisters to the true north from Canada. Let's get this started with. First brought to international attention in the early 1970s following a vicious attack on a pair of unsuspecting teens. This scaly amphibious humanoid is reputed to be ferociously territorial when trespassers veer too close to the murky depths of the Canadian lake it calls home.
Facts.
Thetis Lake monster.
it calls
Technically,
home.
Is it Thetis?
It's Thetis.
Is it really?
For years, I called it Thetis.
No, I want to
And
call it the
then
Thetis.
a Canadian buddy
Thetis?
corrected me and said, "Oh, you mean Thetis Lake? It doesn't flow off the tongue
All right, hold
quite
on a
the same
second.
way."
We have a way that we can get, and we're not going to Google it.
Okay.
We don't do that. We call out to the Into the Portal podcast with Amber Ray and Andrew McKay, and we say, Amber and Andrew, how do you properly pronounce this name? I'm saying Thetis.
You were saying Thetis,
I'm
but
sorry.
now you're saying Thetis.
I'm saying Thetis.
Well, I mean, they would know if they're
Okay, so Amber
there,
and Andrew,
right?
please hit us up on the socials. Let us know how to pronounce this because we will not look it up on Google because that is not what we do.
No.
Check
No.
them out, Into the Portal podcast. Awesome. Robert, let's get this going.
Let's do this.
Let's do this.
Lo and behold,
In the year of our Lord, 13
and see. For the devil sends
no,
the beast with wrath.
this is not Iron Maiden.
But he knows the time is short.
Let him who hath understanding reckon the number of the beast.
For it is a human number. Its number is 666.
all facts.
I lived. Oh, sorry.
Oh my God, I know. You're gonna karaoke those.
I was. Sorry. Those first two beers you let me taste fucked me up. Like,
Taste.
bad.
It's been an extravaganza.
I know, you're like-
It has.
the boys
I
have
know.
been so generous for my birthday, I must say. The tasties keep coming, and I am
the
very
beers.
grateful.
The beers.
The
But let's
beers.
get back to what I think is the Thetis Lake monster.
That sounds cool.
I know Thetis.
All right.
Maybe I'll call it that. I don't know. On August 19th, 1972, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police launched a brief but well-publicized investigation into this phenomenon after 2 teenage boys, 16-year-old Robin Fluellen, phenomenal name, and 17-year-old Gordon Pike, claimed to have not only seen but actually been attacked by a bipedal black lagoon-like creature while romping on the shores of Victoria, British Columbia's Lake Thetis.
So we're not saying Thetis?
You,
All right,
you
no.
want it?
No, you know what?
From now on, all right,
you
it's
hit-
Thetis.
No,
No, I'll-
if you have a Canadian connection, all
If you-
right.
That's what I was
Canadian.
told. But I want to make you happy.
No, we should go for.
No, Mark's the leader. We do what he says.
No, we're not. I'm not
Call
the
it like
leader.
Fartenstein, whatever. Yeah.
Really?
It's America. We do what we want.
Hell, goddamn America!
We don't care.
Eagle and the flag and the baby and the gun.
According
The baby.
the baby.
We invented the baby. That's not in the creed. It's not in the pledge.
According to the 2 eyewitnesses, they were standing on a beach near the Thetis Lake Recreational Center
boy.
when they both saw a spontaneous swelling of water just off the shoreline. Intrigued, the boys stepped forward for a closer look. Neither could possibly have been prepared for what happened next.
Real quick life lesson: swelling of water don't check it out.
Why is that?
Because whenever I've been near water and there's been something flapping around, like a beaver in the water that was swimming, it's never anything good.
No, it's not something you want to tangle with.
Yeah, no, but don't check it out. Leave.
That makes sense.
Do what Jesus intended and leave.
Yeah, well, it's never been
Just leave.
anything. It's never been like treasure or fucking pizza.
No, it's
Right.
not. It's not a case of beer that's trying to make its way up to you.
It's never the lady in the lake.
Yeah, it's never gonna
Rising
happen.
It's never Excalibur. It was
It's-
Excalibur
yeah.
once. King Arthur got it.
once.
Fucking move
When-
along.
When there's a swelling of water,
Yeah.
say, you know what? I know better. My parents taught me better. I'm gonna leave.
I know. Except that time we're in Montezuma and it happens. We walk away. It is the best pizza in the world comes out of the fucking water.
Not from Montezuma.
Yeah,
maybe
it
the best
doesn't.
beer.
It doesn't matter.
It's true. If it's magic pizza, it's magic
And then
pizza.
they're like, "Oh well, no one was there," and it goes down. And we
Would've
lost
made
it
you
for
immortal.
eternity. I know.
And it's 7 inches to your penis.
All right, so there's some.
Which might be superfluous.
All right.
I'll scale that down a little.
Yeah.
So maybe run and hide, but at least spy from the bushes and see if
make
it's
sure.
the best
All
pizza in the
right.
I'm
world.
sure it's pizza and not a monster.
So
Or
these
Excalibur.
kids see the swelling water.
Yes.
All right, what happens?
And we're ill prepared for what would happen next. Without warning, a monstrous head and torso erupted from the churning froth of bubbles. Pike and Llewellyn froze, overcome by a potent combination of shock and fascination. Not pizza.
No,
not pizza.
and there's no beer.
No.
It is a
They
monstrous
gambled
head
and
and
lost.
torso.
They
Yeah,
did.
but
Oh,
you
well.
gotta take the chance.
Oh well.
Is it a sweet weed pen? No, it's not.
What? Is it 7 bases? No.
No.
It's a monster.
Is it 7 bases?
The boys would describe this grisly aberration of natural selection to the police as being nearly 5 feet tall and weighing in the vicinity of 120 pounds, with an epidermis consisting solely of interlocking silvery fish-like scales.
So at 5 foot,
Okay, so it's
yeah,
not.
5 foot 120, not bad.
No, I mean,
Well, that's not exactly. That's like shonen knife.
No, that's like Danzig size. Like
Well,
this
yeah,
thing is
yeah.
the size of Danzig.
it's not
basically.
huge, but the fact that it's covered in
It-
scales.
regardless.
Well, no offense
Yeah.
to Danzig, but he's definitely more than 120 pounds. But it's not very big, really. I mean,
No.
it's the size of like a child.
Basically, or a full-grown whatever the fuck this is.
Okay. All right.
Or maybe a child
Y-
version of
well,
whatever the
yeah,
fuck
right.
this is. We don't know.
Okay.
Okay. The creature's horrifying visage consisted of a pair of dark, bulbous eyes and a gaping fish-like mouth that was made
Yeah.
complete by the 6 razor-sharp spikes connected to one another by thin, membranous webbing, which they said protruded from its skull. Similar webbing was seen between the digits of its 3-fingered hands. So
Does it have 3 spikes on each
You're
side?
seeing if it's accurate.
it's got 6 spikes going across the top of
okay,
heads like
yeah.
a dimetrodon, sort
Yeah,
of.
no, my-
with like a
I have a,
membranous web between
I
each
have
one.
a Thetis Lake monster tattoo, baby tattoo, which
Yes,
is
you
not,
do.
which is not accurate, but it's okay. It's still
Well, it's accurate to some of the descriptions.
it's the thought that counts.
We'll get to that in a minute. Actually,
Okay.
yours is not as far off as you might think, but that's a side track on the
Okay.
story.
Sweet. Crypto tattoos.
So this thing's got a fishy mouth, the big bulby eyes, the silvery scales, and the vertical back and forth.
like a mohawk.
Yeah, like a mohawk.
Sweet
like
mohawk.
Liberty spikes, but with like
Yeah.
webbing between.
Okay, cool.
Basically. Llewellyn and Pike took all of this in a matter of seconds before the creature rose up to its full height and shot from the churning surf toward the terrified teens. Fight or flight instincts kicked into full force, and the boys, fearing for their lives, understandably, began sprinting for the parked car that they had arrived in, with the bizarre beast hot on their heels. As the duo jumped into the vehicle, one of them, I'm not sure which, noticed that the being lunged forward. He claimed to have felt an intense pain in his hand as he slammed the car door shut, and they hastily drove away, leaving the moist monstrosity in their dusty wake.
Moist monstrosity.
Yeah.
Moist.
Savor that one.
Oh
Roll that off
man,
your
that
tongue.
that one. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
So was the pain from the door hitting his hand or from the
No,
monster?
the pain was
From
from
the
the spiky thing on top of its head.
hitting
yeah.
him?
Impaling his palm.
Oh, he did like a juggernaut.
He juggernauted him.
The juggernaut. The
Totally.
juggernaut. The juggernaut. And he just went forward and hit him.
Yeah.
right.
Don't pat the savage dragon.
Yeah, it sounds like Savage Dragon. It really does.
It does actually.
Yeah, like Savage Dragon.
No, that's,
yeah.
that's
I know.
actually a really apt description. After narrowly escaping this vicious predator, Llewellyn and Pike made their way to the nearest RCMP station, where the injured, yet surprisingly still unspecified teen displayed a laceration across his hand, which he claimed was a result of contact with the first spike-like fin that adorned the scaly fiend's skull. The officers on duty were so impressed by the sincerity of the young men's tale that a manhunt, or more accurately, monster hunt, was immediately launched. According to one of the investigating officers, and this is a direct quote, "The boys seem sincere, and until we deem otherwise, we have no alternative but to continue our investigation."
So they took it up.
Well, shit,
They're
I
like,
know.
We're the fucking RCMP, and guess what? We're getting on our fucking horses.
You know,
we're gonna go shoot this fucker in the head.
I don't know if that was their first goal.
Okay,
That might not have been
That,
the
may,
speech.
that may have been
What?
USA flag eagle mark. But
Yes.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like Canada. That sounds like...
Yeah.
No,
no.
I think they really sincerely thought that what these guys had to say was sincere. These kids come in, they don't like tell all their buddies or go
Right.
to a local paper. They're not looking for hype. They're fearfully going to the local police to say, "Holy shit, this is terrifying. Here's my injury."
All right, cool.
So to that extent, they're like, "Okay, this seems legit," even though we don't necessarily
and they,
believe in lake
they
monsters.
launched a
Well, sure.
investigation.
Yeah.
Solid.
Unfortunately, nothing turned up on that occasion, and the investigation was summarily concluded. That was until 4 days later when, at approximately 3:30 p.m. on the 23rd of August, the beast reared its ghastly head yet again. This time, the creature, which uncannily matched previous descriptions, was spotted by 12-year-old Mike Gold and 14-year-old Russell Van Nice. Van Nice.
Very nice.
I like it.
Who were fishing on the opposite side of the lake from the original sighting. Unlike the encounter of the previous week, these witnesses claimed that the creature merely rose up out of the water, looked around, then submerged. The boys further maintained that they did not linger long enough to see whether or not the beast would manifest its previously displayed tendency of aggressive anti-human behavior. According to one of the boys, "It came out of the water and looked around, then it went back into the water, then we ran. Its body was silver and shaped like an ordinary body, like a human being body, but it had a monster face and it was all scaly with a point sticking out of its head and great big ears and horrifying eyes." The ears are somewhat resembling Mark's tattoo, for the record.
All right, yeah.
The RCMP relaunched their investigation into this unusual phenomenon with vigor, but hard evidence remained elusive. Lack of proof notwithstanding, it wasn't long before this unclassified creature made headlines in the Victoria Daily Times, wherein an artist was commissioned to render the first portrait of the monster. From there, tales of the Canadian Gill Man quickly spread across the globe.
The Canadian Gill Man.
Yeah.
Oh, it's killer.
Gilman.
On August 26th, 1972, a newspaper called The Province allegedly received a phone call from a man who claimed to have lost his pet tegu lizard near Thetis Lake, or Thetis Lake, the previous year.
What's a tegu lizard?
It's like a kind of monitor-y looking, gray, striped, 3 to 4 feet long.
That big?
That's a big fucking
It's a
lizard.
big fucking lizard.
Well, they're from tropical environs.
But then again, their tails are like...
Yeah.
I mean, their
The bulk
bodies
of their
might
body,
be
yeah.
like
Right,
8
yeah,
inches, but
yeah,
their
yeah,
tails
yeah.
are like
Okay, all right.
20.
Yeah, you can, whatever the length is, half of it is at least the tail.
Okay, all right.
Right. So he lost it, allegedly, near the lake the previous year. The article further asserted that this pet lizard, which can grow up to 4 feet in length and is indigenous to the exceedingly warm climates of Latin America, was the entity responsible for the brief wave of monster sightings.
So it wasn't a sweet 5 foot, 120-pound Danzig X monster. It was a lizard.
That's what the province tried to let its readers believe. The article, however, did not explain how the witnesses in question mistook a striped four-legged lizard for a silver-scaled bipedal fishman, nor did it state how said reptile could survive a harsh British Columbia winter in the wild.
Oh, that's true. It gets colder than a basketball.
Ironically, crypto skeptic and editor of Junior Skeptic magazine, one Daniel Loxton, wasn't satisfied with the theory that a pet lizard was on the loose either. He spoke with a Royal BC Museum expert who claimed that the South American lizard would likely not have lived through the Victoria winter, officially debunking the theory. Although he debunked the tegu lizard theory, Loxton still attempted to throw cold water on the entire affair by combing local TV guides and discovering a black and white mid-60s beach party monster mash titled The Beach Girls and the Monster, a.k.a. Monster from the Surf, which had aired a week before the sightings. It's interesting to note that the fin-like ears found only in the Gold and Van Nice descriptions, and Mark's tattoo, do correspond with the attributes of the creature on display in the film.
So these kids saw the creature on the beach, or what was it called?
This is...
I remember this movie, actually. I remember seeing it.
Monster from the Surf, but its release title was The Beach Girls and the Monster.
Right.
And I've seen it too. I own it. Of course I own
Yeah.
it. But it's interesting that the 12 and 14-year-old kids, the ones that saw it after the attack on Pike and Llewellyn,
Right.
they gave a description that's a lot like the movie Monster. So we'll get into this.
Well,
in a sec.
yeah.
Next, Loxton managed to track down a 49-year-old Russell Van Nice who decided to renege on his original testimony, claiming it was just a big lie. Mike Gold was trying to get attention.
So the kid is saying that he's like, we made this up.
The 49-year-old man is saying that not only is he saying that he was part of this ruse, but
Right.
that the one that conceived of it was the 12-year-old. So 12-year-old Mike Gold
Okay.
conceived of this ruse, and a 14-year-old followed suit. I find that a little shady just on the face of, I remember when I was 14 and I wasn't listening to 12-year-olds for shit. They might as well have been 100 years younger than me.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
just
yeah.
a personal thing.
No, right.
But we're going to get more into this.
Okay. All right.
There are many who assume that Van Nice's confession is proof of a hoax and should serve as the final coffin nail for this magnificently mysterious monster. But even if it is a genuine citation, and there's no reason to doubt Loxton's journalistic integrity, though there is definite reason to assume where his biases are, one must consider a few basic facts. The first is one cannot underestimate the social toll that being involved with an incident such as this extracts from an individual. The years of ostracization, ridicule, and negative press would be enough for anyone to want to wash their hands of their encounter with the unknown. That having been stated, let's assume that Van Nice's statement is 100% authentic, and that he and Gold were nothing more than a couple of middle school kids trying to hop on the popularity bandwagon by claiming that they too saw a monster at the peak of the furor surrounding it, while in actuality describing a monster they had seen on TV. If that were the case, it in no way invalidates the claims made by Llewellyn and Pike, one of whom was severely injured by the creature, who claimed to have encountered the fiend first. While the Thetis Lake monster was admittedly brief and consisted of only 2 confirmed and perhaps only 1 authentic sighting, one should also take into consideration the fact that for centuries North American natives have reported numerous and oftentimes fatal face-to-face encounters with various creatures which they describe as being carnivorous aquatic humanoids. These man-like anomalies purportedly lurked in the mist-shrouded lakes and rivers of the Pacific Northwest and were known to have a penchant for preying on human beings. One of the beasts chronicled in these Native American legends are the pugwis. And I could be pronouncing this wrong, but I think I'm pretty much...
Pugwudgie?
Well, that's a different thing.
Oh, okay, sorry.
But the pugwis, which reputedly tormented the Kwakatul, again, I apologize if I'm totally massacring your name, the Kwakatul Indians of the Puget Sound region for years. These accounts, of course, vastly predate the Thetis Lake monster as well as its cinematic counterparts. Perhaps the Thetis Lake monster is nothing more than a pop culture phenomenon run rampant, but we should at least keep an open mind to the possibility that this is a unique animal that may well represent a bridge between bipedal primates and our amphibious cousins who have been climbing the evolutionary ladder with far less fanfare. So, basically, it is now considered in the vast culture of not just cryptozoology, but in, of course, mainstream debunking, that this is a hoax. 100% hoax, confirmed by Daniel Loxton because he said so, because he talked to Russell Van Nice, and Russell Van Nice said, me and Mike Gold were playing hell. Well, my thought is, yeah, a 12-year-old and a 14-year-old, when there's all this hubbub surrounding this monster, want to partake in some of the glory. Right. Sure, maybe that part is a lie. Maybe Russell Van Nice is sick of answering questions about it, or maybe it was all bullshit. But I'm more interested in the Pike and Llewellyn aspect of the story.
With the Pike and Llewellyn, when that happened, how far after that experience did?
4 days.
4 days. So yeah. I wondered, did these kids just jump on after they heard of the Pike and Llewellyn, did they just jump on the bandwagon?
It sure seems it.
And these people like, oh yeah, well, we saw it too,
and
dude.
Here's the interesting twist that I mentioned in the article. The ear thing, like on your tattoo, of like the frilly fin ear things, that's very reminiscent of the creature that was seen in The Monster from the Surf.
Right.
So it stands to reason these kids saw this movie, they saw all the hype that was going to these older teens, and everyone's all excited about a monster. We saw it too. I can totally buy.
So these kids are trying to just jump on the bandwagon.
I can totally buy that.
I mean, good for them.
I don't know for sure. Maybe Van Nice is just sick of hearing about it, and if you talk to Mike Gold, who's now probably in his 50s or so, he'd be like, no, it was legit.
Right.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah.
But But I'm willing to accept that the second batch was a hoax.
Okay.
But that to me does not debunk the entire case, which is, of course, a lot of times I read sources where they say Daniel Loxton, reporter, stumbled across this. Daniel Loxton might be a fine reporter. I can't speak to his work. Again, I'm not here to question his integrity at all.
Right.
But he writes for Junior Skeptic magazine. He was an editor for that magazine.
For Junior
Skeptic.
So why is there a Junior Skeptic?
I guess for smaller kids to enjoy shitting on fun ideas just like their grown-up counterparts.
Smaller kids being assholes?
Yeah,
Is that
nip
what
that
it is?
shit in the bud before you become an
It's
adult.
probably, the only
It
people...
was really called Junior Skeptics Magazine?
The only kids
That's
that
terrible.
would probably get Junior Skeptics magazine have asshole parents that are like, all the fun and imagination, like Santa is a lie. He's a, fucking...
Here's the connection
Jesus Christ.
between the Easter Bunny and Jesus. Oh, wait, there is none.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the Junior Skeptics.
All hope is gone.
Yeah, basically.
Read this.
Your life is a fucking boring mess. Welcome to life. Wait until you die. They will hopefully
But,
live
I mean,
long.
that's,
Which is not to say, listen, I understand that parents from a time immemorial have said there's no such thing as monsters, there's no such thing as ghosts, things to comfort their kids. I get that.
Yeah, totally.
If you're trying to get them through a horrible sleepless night and you're not trying to riddle them with terror, fine. Let them discover the horrors of the world on their own as they grow up.
Yeah.
You're supposed to protect
Give
your
them no
kids.
guidance. No. Give them no guidance. Hit the ground running.
But that having been
Jesus
said,
Christ.
all
right.
when somebody is writing for a skeptical magazine,
You're gonna
they
obviously have
clearly
bias, yeah.
have a huge bias against anything that is not 100% definable through repeat experimentation.
Yeah, but it shouldn't be like I'm as skeptical as it gets.
No,
but
same
like
here. No,
I
same
am,
here.
I
You
am
still
too,
should have
contrary to
a-
popular belief.
I mean, you should have an opinion based on evidence, sure, but like I haven't read it, but I mean, if you think the evidence doesn't hold up, then you tell why you do this. But like, I don't know if it's shitting on it or not because I didn't read it. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I mean, I feel like you have to come at all this stuff at that angle to begin with.
You have to, but and I've said this a million times. I'm going to reiterate. There is a fine fucking line. It's actually a gaping chasm, but it seems like a fine line between a debunker and a skeptic. I think we all
no,
are
that's
skeptics.
what I'm saying. I'm not.
But so many of these people, the Michael Shermers and the Benjamin Radfords, they're good journalists. I mean, they're solid. I'm sure they're good human beings, but they're debunkers. They aren't out there to look at things from an objective point of view and say, there's an intriguing bit of evidence here. Maybe it's worth looking into. No, this really doesn't seem so kosher. Let's frown upon this. It seems to be carte blanche. Fuck this. If it's not within the acceptable realms of what we know of science.
I mean, Shermer's more based in. I mean, he's done stuff, but he's more, I guess, religious based than anything. But he is definitely. He does follow. He's a hard line.
He is, yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty dude, but
And he has every
I
right
like
to
Michael
be that.
Shermer. Yeah.
He has
No,
every right to be that.
I like him too. He's kind of fun.
But this is a different.
It's a different thing.
So if the first group of kids, if what they see and they have a physical altercation with it, it pulled the old juggernaut and hit him in the hand with his top savage dragon head fin. So if these other kids are just jumping on the bandwagon and be like, oh yeah, no, we saw it. So we really can't rely on, and even the second kids, all they really saw was it came up, it looked around, and it
went
left,
back down,
and it didn't do anything. And they really are describing the creature from that movie.
Yeah.
So if all we have to go on is just the first encounter, was it Pike? Was the first one?
Pike and Fluellen. Gordon
okay.
Pike and something Fluellen.
Now, have there been any follow up with them at all, or are they just kind of like, yeah, it happened and that was?
That's the thing. I don't know.
Kind of like that was.
I don't know if they're still talking about it.
To their credit, though, the RCMP believed him enough where they're like, we ought to check this out.
Listen, we
something's
have
kinda
to
weird.
entertain the notion. It goes without saying.
Right.
As much as I have a gut reaction against debunkers who want to debunk anything that is possibly mysterious, the fact is, I think we have to entertain the possibility this is all grand hoax.
No, we
Absolutely.
we do. But if the RCMP talks to them and they're like, oh, this is kind of serious.
This is where I have a little bit of faith in that, in the sense that their first stop of Fluellen and Pike was the police station.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't to a media organization. It wasn't to go to
No,
the
it was
local
right to
soda
go-
shop to
yeah.
show their friends their bloody wound and be like, oh, look what happened. Yeah, sea
Don't
monster
bleed in my
attacked us.
soda. Don't bleed in my soda.
It wasn't that. It was to
Gross.
go to the police, the police were suitably impressed with how fearful they seemed
That's what I
to
was
be,
saying,
how
yeah.
sincere
Yeah,
they seemed to
totally.
be,
Yeah.
that they opened a legitimate investigation. Now, it doesn't mean that they couldn't have been fine young actors and been pulling a hoax, but to me, that doesn't lend itself to that.
No.
It lends itself to the idea that they had an experience that genuinely terrified them.
Yeah.
Because this would be humiliating. To go to, especially in,
Yeah.
you know, back, Christ, in the early 70s, to go to a police station and say, yeah, I got attacked by a monster. It lives in the lake. It looks like a fish man. It ran at us. We barely got away. You're going to look like an idiot.
Yeah.
So you have to be terrified to want to say that to officials.
Yeah, totally.
So at least I'm open-minded. Sure, I would like to see proper follow-up.
Right, but that encounter to me sounds much more real, quote unquote real, than what the kids experienced.
Well, yeah. Well, the second one is a little more vague anyway.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
And
It's all
since- and
thing,
the
maybe
kid
had
came
a
out and he's like,
thing,
oh no,
and
he's
then-
fucking around trying to be famous. So, all right. So, okay, let's get to the lizard. So this
The
dude,
tegu.
okay, so this dude let a lizard go, or his
Allegedly.
his lizard got loose,
Yeah.
or whatever. And we kind of have something like that with the Everglades, right? Like where people are like letting all the like exotic animals out in the Everglades.
Absolutely. Like, obviously, pythons have run rampant.
Yeah.
They're
Like
non-indigenous. other
crocodiles and
creatures.
alligators and shit, like things that aren't supposed to be there.
Alligators are absolutely supposed to be there.
There's
Just for the
crocodiles
record.
that aren't.
Crocodiles are not supposed to be there.
Okay, I think there are there. Don't quote me on that. I don't know.
I definitely know pythons and boa
But
constrictors
there's
are
shit
a
in the
huge
Everglades
problem.
where
Yeah,
people just let their
Jesus
shit go
Christ.
or
Yes.
whatever.
But
The difference
the
is
key
though,
difference, by the way.
British fucking Columbia.
Yeah.
Okay, so where
Everglades.
is British Columbia in relation to us? Because Nova Scotia, where our buddy Mike is like East Coast, but like way north. All right, so where Victoria, British Columbia is, obviously the weather, the cold.
Yeah. We're talking midway up West Coast.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
So-
got brutal winters.
yeah, yeah.
So
a
a
lizard
tropical
wouldn't-
lizard, unlike the ones that might thrive in the swampy tropical fucking Everglades,
Of-
are going to die. 100% die
Totally, yeah,
in the
yeah.
harsh Victoria winter.
Yeah.
Period. Unless it found like a home, snuck into a basement, snuggled up in some laundry, ate all the mice there, and then came back out in the spring. But no, it didn't.
I wonder why the guy was like,
Yeah.
"Oh yeah, no, my lizard got out," and these kids thought that it was a 120-pound Glenn Danzig looking fucking.
I feel like
creature.
that's just a gross.
Misrepresentation.
It's really bad.
It's a bad
you
idea.
cannot. I don't think you can see like just a lizard bobbing up in like a short human.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
Plus, it charged them. It ran out of the surf,
Yeah,
up
and
onto the
it got
land,
him,
all
yeah.
the way to the car, jabbed his hand. They don't have horns, tegu lizards.
No.
They're just fucking lizards. So, the tegu, no. That's just some bullshit.
Yeah, you really can. I mean, okay, so what could they have seen?
All right, well,
really, I
all right,
mean,
to go- let's
we're,
go
we're
across-
almost going
all
back to
right.
like shit,
The fucking,
Yes.
that weird
Orange Eyes.
Pickle Rick! Fucking,
Yeah, Pickle Rick. Yeah,
what the
totally.
fuck was that creature called? Not the mill race. Why are we fucking
I know. I
stupid?
forget stuff all the time
No,
when
it
I'm
was
trying
no
to.
race. It was
No,
the
no,
Mill
it
Race
was
Monster.
no Mill Race Monster was a different thing. This was something
Yeah, I
Mill,
know.
though.
Charles Mill.
Charles Mill
Charles
Lake
Mill-
Monster.
Lake, yeah.
Oh my God, we're experts in the
Dude,
field.
we
You are the
can't know
cryptozoologist.
everything.
No, you can't know everything all the time.
But
I knew Mill was in there. So the Charles Mill Lake Monster, we're going to go into the same territory we were into with that. This could have been a scuba diver completely. All right. If it just appeared in the water, kind of like the kids that claimed to see it the second time, which I think we're all pretty much agreeing that was probably some bullshit. But if
Yeah.
you just saw a creature pop out of the water, look around, and go down, it could be somebody with a snorkel and a mask, and the snorkel looked like the pointy fin on top of its head, and the mask looked like big eyes. But this thing came out of the water, chased them, actually impaled one of their hands enough to lacerate it. So there's no way this is just a scuba diver.
well, that's a spear gun.
All right, a spear gun, a scuba diver with a spear gun.
So wait, was there a time of day referenced in this, like day or night? Because I feel like if it's gonna be a scuba diver, I don't think he's gonna be like, I'm gonna go night scuba-ing. Maybe.
Does anybody go
Well,
scuba diving in the night?
night scuba
Because it's got-
scoobers?
Seems like a bad idea.
Night
Scuba?
scoobers. I don't know
Are they
what
called
time it
scoobers?
happened, to be honest.
All right. So yeah, I don't recall there being a listed time of day, but
It could have been the evening.
could have been.
I don't know.
But I just feel like that's a fucking. How big is this lake too?
This lake isn't terribly big. It's
Is it like Weensey, like
Is it-
Beaver
is
Lake
it-
and
yeah,
Weedsport?
is it-
It's like
or is it like a Wasco,
It is-
or is it like Ontario?
It is actually two lakes, Upper and Lower Thetis Lake,
Okay.
separated by like a culvert or a channel. So it's not a huge body of water. It doesn't necessarily have a long history of humanoid entities. In fact, I don't think there's much of a history of it at all, except for these two
Just
incidents.
These two, okay. All right.
But there are a
Yeah.
lot, as mentioned in the article, of sightings of aquatic humanoids that are very aggressive by Native Americans from the northern part of the United States up through
right.
Canada. So maybe they are migratory. Maybe they hibernate for a tremendously long period of time. Maybe it's a raft of shit. I just don't know.
That's kind of what like a turtle would do, or like a lizard would do. It would dig itself into the mud, hunker down for a couple of months, and then come out and move.
well, I mean, are we assuming it is a reptile or amphibious?
I assumed amphibious
Yeah, I
because
know.
it-
You kinda
That's what I
go-
did too.
Climb
From the
up on land.
from the
But-
description, yeah, kind of go amphibious.
But what's interesting is they're
Could it
not
be a reptile?
described as reptilian. They're described as fish-like humanoids.
Right. That's
Right.
that's where I went too.
So if they were truly like type people,
Right.
entities,
Hmm.
you would think they would be stuck in the water. Unless they're sort of like lungfish, where that for short periods of time they can come out, make their way onto land,
Right.
use their gills to transfer oxygen or whatever, and then get back in the water. So I guess we can't really tell because scales like that, because these kids aren't herpetologists or ichthyologists, they're teenagers.
Right.
So they see silver scales, they say look like a fish. To them, it looks like a fish, but it doesn't mean that it's actually fish-like.
Yeah.
It could well be reptilian.
Yeah. Right. So I mean, the assumption is always with that description, it was amphibian, but it could be not. I guess
You're right. It could not
Yeah.
be. But let's say, for example, it is amphibious. If it is amphibious, then you really could go for both the idea that it can hibernate and maybe hibernate for really extended periods. Who's to say that it has to be seasonal and that it could be migratory in the sense that it could travel distances? I mean, it's not like there's not scads of lakes throughout,
Yeah.
Canada. That they just maybe move from body to water, find the fish where they have it, sleep when they have to, wake back up when the winter's over, and
Right.
move again. Again, I know I'm pissing in the wind with this. I
No,
get that there's
no,
no.
no,
all of it
I
is.
get it, though.
It's all
I-
The
speculation.
only problem
But I
I
get it, I
have
get it.
with is bipedal things in the water. Because I feel like
It doesn't seem very.
I feel like
convenient.
Darwinian wise that would have been taken care of
Yeah.
It doesn't seem super efficient.
a while ago. You know what I mean?
Unless, of course, they really are designed to be truly amphibious and the legs help it on the land. And it's bipedal because it maybe
Yeah.
is an omnivore and like can eat
Right.
leaves as well as fish and shellfish and whatever the fuck else.
Yeah.
Small amphibians like frogs and salamanders. Maybe it eats everything and this somehow helps it. I mean, the only thing that it's not anti-Darwinian in the sense that there's not a way to explain why it would have this sort of
there's
anatomy.
not. It's just
It just it goes against what we traditionally know about aquatic creatures.
well, yeah. As things evolve, it's-
Absolutely. And I
shit-
agree with that. I agree
yeah.
with what Chris is saying there completely. But yeah, this one, it would help if there was a litany of history in Thetis Lake.
Yes.
Of
That would help a
silvery
lot.
aquatic humanoids.
Yeah.
I can see why skeptics, and I know I come down harsh on debunkers, as I call them, and I mean it. I really do mean it. I don't like it when people won't look at things objectively. But that having been said, I can see why people would be very skeptical of this account.
Well, I mean, when the second account comes out and is like, "Yeah, dude, just trying to make a buck here," like just lying to get attention, like that automatically.
But granted,
tosses
that second account
everything.
didn't come out until decades later.
It's true. That's true. So it automatically tosses.
Which kudos to
everything.
Loxton for digging it up.
Yeah, totally.
But
Totally.
but again,
Well, when you're in Junior Skeptical Inquirer, what was it called?
I think Junior Skeptics magazine.
Junior Skeptics, yeah. And remind me not to get my kids a subscription to Junior Skeptics.
You either got highlights, sweet pickles, or Junior Skeptic. What do you want? I want Junior Skeptic.
I don't like to
Not in this
believe.
goddamn house.
Oh, God.
Or my
Santa
goddamn
who?
roof. Yeah, who's Santa what? Easter Bunny, huh? Tooth Fairy who? It's fucking Dad.
Wow.
Yeah, there you go.
Wow, brutal.
It's fucking Dad.
Brutal.
Yeah. Okay, so do we think the Thetis Lake monster, is that correct?
I think so.
Okay, Thetis.
Whatever.
So do we think that this
Whatever.
is a one-off encounter with some sort of like ferocious amphibian creature, or is this just these kids made it up after these other kids made it up?
I think
Is it
it's
a series of lies and deceit from Canada? It doesn't seem like Canada would do that.
Oh, Jesus.
I know.
It doesn't
the
really seem
Canada
like
I
they would.
know. The Canada,
No, the
I know
Canada
and
that I
love.
know, who recently I just want to put this out there, completely legalized weed across the board.
God bless him.
Across the board. We are 2 hours. 2 hours away, good sir.
Dude, I know.
from legal weed.
We're very close.
If we go across the border and we have weed on us, we won't get arrested.
Just make it to the border, I guess.
Get to the border. Just run. I got it.
Oh, that's gonna be a
backpack
movie.
full of weed. You can't get me.
We're going to release a video. We're just running for the border.
This is Mark doing somersaults across the border. You can't fucking get me.
Somersault. They're chasing you during
It's the
somersaults.
somersaults. Yeah, you
Why can't we
get me.
catch him? He's doing somersaults.
Yeah, because-
I don't know. He's really
Seriously.
fast.
He's kind of chunky and has weird hair.
He's
What's
an
going
excellent
on?
tumbler. Fuck off.
Yeah,
Stop yelling
exactly.
at me.
Don't fucking yell at me. You have a backpack full of weed. He does. Oh my God.
Don't yell at me.
but
he's
he's
an
in-
excellent tumbler.
But he's in Canada.
That's a horrible Canadian
It's a
accent.
crazy.
Oh
it's
my
a
It wasn't
God.
terrible.
You
But
just set
Terrible
back
accent.
relations decades.
Yeah.
no, Canada loves tumblers, just not.
You know, I will say this: there's nothing more than I love than hearing a Canadian accent.
Oh,
It's
God.
so nice.
I have
and-
had so
and
many good times in
welcoming.
Canada.
They're home. This is home. They're going to be nice to us and have super
Yeah.
awesome beer. And,
No, we'll take care of you. Here you go.
yeah, I don't know. Here's healthcare. Here's legal weed.
Yeah.
Yeah, home.
Beautiful women that are actually nice to you.
Yeah. Oh, there's a lot of
I
beautiful.
know. You
women
cross the
in
border to New
Canada.
York, it's like, fucking bleedly
Hey,
do.
fucking Jenny. Eh.
Sick a dick. A dick.
That's terrible. Although
But it's true.
A New York accent though is kind of home, but regardless,
Yeah, I know.
What do we think this is really going to go down to? Is this a one?
I don't know.
Is this an offshoot, one-time encounter with this thing?
It is
Is this a
that.
bunch of bullshit?
Here's what I think.
The
Well,
RCMP is highly trained.
It always can be 100% bullshit every
course.
time.
That's true.
But
That's true. Are we going to even entertain the idea? I don't even want to say it. I don't even want to bring it.
dimensions?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes. No.
How did I not see this coming?
I know, I did. I was like,
dude, we
he
all
has one
know.
angle.
I
and it's
have
dim-
one.
it's
I have
dimensions.
one path. You're
All
the
right.
cryptozoologist. You study the science of unknown shit, right?
Fair.
Okay. Christopher and I are a little bit different. Well, I don't know if Christopher's on the board, but I'm going to bring him on board.
Okay.
Like a pirate. I'm
All
gonna fucking
right.
capture him. These are things from a different
Okay,
dimension.
well, I'm the cabin boy of interdimensional
Yeah, you are. Crossing
theories.
planes of traversing time and space.
I'm not
What if this-
entirely against that.
Okay, I'm just saying. Jacques Vallée had the fucking idea.
He was one of the
The
guys.
Goblin World, bitch.
Jesus.
Ted Holiday,
Okay,
John
Yeah.
Keel.
I am not going to sample you beers before pods ever again.
Yeah, no, you should.
All right, so here's what I honestly think. I think it is an absolutely reductive fact that it is a one-time deal.
Right.
I think Llewellyn and Pike saw something unique.
The first
I
one
think
feels
that-
legit.
I think it bears
No, it
out in
does.
the fact
The
that they
first one
instantly
has-
went to the police. They had an actual injury to show. Unfortunately, it was in the days way before DNA or other
Right.
tests could have been
Right.
made to confirm what did it. I think there's something legitimate there. So let's table that for a second. I think what Gold and Van Nuys did was propagate a hoax based on a movie they saw. I think Daniel Loxton's reporting is probably very spot on about that.
Right.
Where I think it goes awry is when
Yeah.
they use that as the blanket thing, kind of like when they quote unquote debunk the surgeon's photo for Loch Ness, and everyone's like, Loch Ness is a lie. It's like, well,
Yeah.
you've got literally thousands of sightings over the years, and maybe
Yeah.
one photograph that's not so kosher.
Well, yeah, it's the equivocation, like fallacy. Like this, we can prove this false, but so that means this must be false.
yes, which
Yeah.
is bullshit.
Yeah.
It's a false
Right.
equivalency, like you say. So I think that while the second sighting was probably bullshit, and a lot of the hype that surrounded it was no doubt just exploited by the local press just to make a buck, sell a few papers, I still think the initial sighting was probably a unique encounter. Now, maybe
Okay.
it was a misinterpretation, but it's difficult to say what that could have been of, because It's not just a scuba diver at a distance. I highly doubt someone's wearing a sophisticated Gillman suit in the early 70s in the middle of this icy Canadian lake, just so they can charge out, accidentally hurt a kid, watch them get away, and then hide, and then forever keep their
lizard
peace.
attached to their head.
Yeah,
There you go.
it's not a tegu lizard or any other type of
I
traditional
know
lizard.
that's fucking weird.
No, I think I'm on board. I think the first sighting, I think there's something there.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, the second sighting is just someone jumping on, trying to come up with something. But now, interestingly though, there's been no further sightings though.
No.
It's just a one-off, which is so weird.
No, it's weird for that. Like I said, like if it's something that is amphibious,
Right. Then it very well could have an easier time hiding.
it's just an odd like why.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're just like why book toward these people that are
Yeah, why attack?
why not just go back.
Go
That's
back,
actually an
yeah.
interesting question. Let's break that down for a second. If you're just the kind of creature that basically wants to keep to yourself, eat some fish and some kelp or whatever the fuck you eat, and be avoiding other creatures, then you do what Chris just said. You just duck back down, and people are like, what did I see? I don't know. No big deal. The fact that it attacked indicates one of two things. Either that it is aggressively territorial,
Okay.
or that it is carnivorous. Much like the Native American legends that we've talked about a few
I
times
didn't
now.
think about that. It
And
wants to
and that
eat people.
It's some flesh. And,
Yeah.
and so, all right, just again, for the sake of speculation,
All right,
it
here we
gets
go.
done
Bring it.
hibernating. Say it's got a 20-year cycle or something. Just this long cycle
it's
of
the
rest.
Jeepers Creepers.
Yeah, they're
or
23
like,
years.
Or like those crazy locusts or cicadas that are underground for 17 years. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
it's
Here
got
in
some,
Auburn, in New York? What?
No,
like the
no. Okay.
7-year locust or whatever the fuck it.
That's the thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck those things.
And toads that stay under the mud until the rains come back. They stay hibernating under dry mud. I don't know where.
Storm toads.
Storm
But when the
toad, yeah.
floods come back
That's my
in, they come
sci-fi
out,
movie.
they eat like motherfuckers, and they go back down and sleep.
Right. So yeah,
All right.
if this thing's hibernating and it comes up, it's like I'm
I
fucking hungry.
really wish I had researched what these toads were, because this would help my case. But for anyone out there that knows what I'm talking about, please send us something to tell us. But these storm toads, if this amphibious creature
I'm
is
sticking
akin
with that.
to that, and when the waters of Thetis Lake warm to a certain point where they feel like they can come out and function, they come out
and they fucking
maybe they're going to
eat.
eat some fucking deer, or maybe they're going to eat some
Yeah, or
rabbits.
some
And if there
fucking
happens to be
people.
human beings right there, tasty treat.
Fuck yeah, carnivore. I'm a meat eater, carnivore.
There you go.
I'd like to be, yeah, like fucking
So
carnivore.
if that's the
I mean,
case,
that's
it
a
might still be
chance.
slumbering in the muds of fucking
it could
Lake
still
Thetis.
be there, just slumbering away, waiting to be awoken.
So it's just that one, and it awakens every,
Or
and
maybe
it
there's
has
a
to
breeding
crush some meat.
population. Who's
Yeah.
to say they eat people, though? Maybe they eat any kind of fauna that's around
No.
there.
I want
and this
them
just
to eat
happens to
people.
be a time where human beings were there and within smelling distance, and they almost got
Well,
devoured.
I guess it could be.
Now you've got me convinced.
It just makes sense.
It does.
It just seems
Should we go try
scientifically
to kill
sound.
this thing?
I don't think we can kill it.
I still have
We don't
issues
know
with the
that,
bipedal
though.
thing. I
We
can't
have-
get past it.
we can get
I'm
weapons.
trying.
Like I say,
Yeah,
when
we
it has to
can't,
hunt in
no.
the woods, 2 feet, booking, using its claws to snag the prey.
But I mean, it's only 5 foot, 120 pounds.
Only.
Yeah,
You say that like that's not sufficient.
we are all bigger than 5
Yeah,
foot.
but not necessarily
120 pounds. We don't know that. You're a very strong
Yeah, but
individual.
look, I'm fairly strong, but a gorilla would rend me. A chimpanzee would tear me limb
Not
from
if you got
limb.
its eyes first.
Then the blind chimpanzee would kill me.
True.
It wouldn't matter.
I mean, plus if they spend their life mostly in water,
Right.
there's a lot more they have to move, so they would be stronger probably out of water.
No, good point. Okay,
the
so
fact
we
that it
shouldn't
moves so
attack it.
fast on land really implies to me that it's designed bipedally for a very important evolutionary reason, which is if it eats occasionally but lives mostly in the water, that it's got to sprint on land, kind of like an alligator or a crocodile will shoot onto the shore, snag its
Yeah,
prey, pull the antelope back in or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
This thing maybe has to do the exact same thing. And just this happens to be the one time human beings that got away because they had a motor vehicle and the ability to retell the
Right.
story. That's the only time the story came out, because the rest of the time it's just poor woodland critters getting all fucked.
So this thing could be just grabbing people every however many
Not
years.
even people, like I say, mostly animals. This might be the one and only time human beings actually saw it.
Yeah,
Maybe.
shit. And we wouldn't even know about this, would we?
Apparently not.
No, well, no, not if it's just grabbing whatever it can, and they just happen to be there.
See?
But like I said, the only thing that makes me is if it's got arms and legs, you shouldn't be. It shouldn't be in the water
at all.
as an evolutionary thing.
I just don't know.
I'm not a biologist. Well, it shouldn't.
Well,
really.
no, I get it. I mean, you think.
But is there anything in the water that has arms and legs? No.
Whales got their flippers back.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because didn't like whales have like tiny like little land
And so
legs
did
or
seals
something?
and sea lion and walrus.
Just imagine seeing a whale running past you.
No.
But they used to have limbs.
Imagine if I look once a year they walked on land like give us tribute. And you're like, oh fuck.
Yeah, what do you even do? Chris, give a beer. Chris, give a beer. Like, how do you even do? How do you deal with that?
I do not know how to pay homage to a whale.
Listen, what year did whales have fucking legs?
Oh, so many years
Give
ago.
me a year. What was the year?
1975.
Oh, you don't
No,
whales
because
had
you were
legs.
alive.
God damn it. No, I don't know. I know that the mammals that whales are were once land mammals with legs. Fuck. This is fact. I can't tell. I wasn't planning on going to fucking land whale time, so I didn't research it.
But like, what time is that? Like,
you have a Google machine.
I don't know. Is it like obviously BC
Is it
before?
BC?
All right,
Is it BC?
No.
No, it wasn't,
motherfucker.
dude. In the late 19th century, the land whale.
Yeah, when Jesus was preaching to the land whale, didn't you read that part of the Bible?
I don't. You guys tell time by Jesus. I don't.
It's 2,000 years ago, BC. It was much longer than that.
You don't remember the land whales at Tombstone?
Oh, Hannibal riding the land whales.
Yeah, Jesus, dude, come on, come on now.
So, like, prehistorically speaking,
Yeah.
it was prehistoric.
It was prehistory, yes.
All right,
it was
yeah.
100% prehistory.
Well,
it was it was
clearly
pre-human,
prehistory.
I think.
I just
don't
wanted
know.
to get a year. Like, was it like?
I don't.
Was it 27? I don't know. Was
Yeah,
it?
I mean,
Was it the
it
year
was the-
27?
No, it was not. It was much before then.
Dude, it had to.
before.
I mean, we're probably talking millions. We're not biologists, but like really.
How do you even
long
gauge
time
that
ago.
time?
Oh, all right, I'm doing it. I'm doing what we promised
no,
we'd never
don't.
do.
Regardless,
How dare you?
regardless.
Once upon a time, in the way back,
I know.
whales walked the land. They went to the sea. They grew their flippers back. None of this
But
has
they weren't
anything to
whales.
do.
Like you don't picture a whale with legs,
Oh,
looking,
yeah.
and it's
No,
a whale
it
head. It's
was
like,
not.
hey,
It was a whole other kind of mammal.
yeah.
Oh, it wasn't a whale. Like,
Well, it became a whale.
Oh, well,
Evolution.
I
man.
think they were actually four-legged.
I think they were too.
really?
Yeah,
I think they were
were-
quadrupeds.
yeah, I
They
don't.
were not bipedal.
No, they were definitely quadrupeds.
Well, I hope a Thetis Lake monster killed one of them.
We can probably rest assured that
It
that
probably
happened.
did. Okay, so I think overall here to close this out, I'm gonna go with I believe the first encounter was sincere. I do. And
They saw
even gonna-
something, but
I'm not even going to open the door to interdimensional because you kind of got me sold on this thing is like hibernating or whatever. Because I don't know science, I don't know animals, but I know you.
oh,
And that's what
jeez,
counts.
And
nice.
you're solid. So
Thank you, buddy.
I'm going to go with that. Christopher?
I don't know, man. It's like I said, I have trouble getting past the
bipedal
the
part.
biped living in.
I mean,
in
I want
water.
all of this to happen.
I'm not saying they made it up. I just don't necessarily. Maybe
I think if all
they
this
didn't
happened,
see what they think they saw, but they got attacked by
But they got
something.
attacked. That's
well,
the thing.
right.
Yeah,
Well, it's a
but
claim.
what attacked them?
I don't know.
Dude,
That's the hard part.
Thetis Lake monster.
I don't
Attacked
fucking
them.
know.
The real hard part is that if you're going to take the Pike Fluellen account
Right.
with at least a nod towards its veracity,
Right.
then you have to be like, it's not just you saw something at a distance and you misinterpreted it. It charged you. You
Yeah.
got a good look
Yeah.
at it. You barely got away, and one of you got injured.
Yeah.
So it either is legitimately what they described it as,
Right.
or it is a hoax, and that is all it can be.
Yeah. Yeah.
They cut themselves. One of them cut their own hand. They ran to the police station, and for reasons we cannot fathom, they made up an
And the
absurd
police,
story.
but the police believed it enough to be like, no, this is not a hoax. Interesting.
Yeah, no,
All
it's
right.
it's
All
one of
right.
those mysteries that will endure, and
All right.
I really hope that somewhere out there there's another sighting, maybe in another lake nearby.
Yeah, something. Yeah.
And you know the pudgewees or whatever, you know, that definitely demands some more research because there's probably a lot of fascinating legends that could be correlated that we're just not doing right now because
Right.
we're too worried about fucking land whales because that's our way.
All right, so there you have it. That is our take on the Thetis
Or Thetis.
Lake
Thetis.
monster.
Thetusula.
Tusula.
Thetusula. It's a busula.
Nice.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, I know how you do. All right, so that is our take on the Thetis Lake monster.
Fair enough.
Be sure to rate and review this podcast on the Apple iTunes, the Apple and the iTunes apps. It helps us out greatly. As always, hit us up on the socials. Let us know what you think about this. And if you've had an encounter with this creature.
Or similar one.
Or similar.
Or something altogether different, but cool.
Yeah, if you've had an encounter, let us know. Or if you have some more information on the story, by all means, please let us know. We'd like to get up-to-date information. So before we close out, I want to say a very happy birthday to Mr. Robert Morphy. Thank you very much.
Yay, beers.
Thanks,
beers
guys.
for beers.
79 years old. Congratulations.
79 years young today. Thank you, Viagra.
We'll be talking to you soon.
Rumpelstiltskin.
Oh, you got me so fucked up with those beers.